Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Unfog with Dr. Atahar Parveen. In this video, we are going to discuss maths questions from CTET previous year question paper, and this is the part 3 video of this question paper. In first two videos, we have discussed child development pedagogy and maths questions. In this class, we will discuss the remaining maths questions. We will try to solve those questions in a shortest possible way. We will also try to learn short tricks wherever possible. Make sure that you watch this video till the end to cover the entire question paper, because there are 30 questions from maths part in CTET paper 2, right? So in the previous class we have discussed 15, and in this class we are going to discuss the rest of the 15 maths questions. And this question paper we have picked because this question paper has a variety of questions which will be surely useful for all teacher recruitment exams like PSTR, GPSTR, HSTR and CRIS also. If you have watched our previous video, you will understand that how different type of questions were asked in the examination and how easily we could solve them. In this video also we will try to do that. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe right now. And also if you want more such classes, we would like to have responses from you in the form of feedback in the comment section. And also if you like our work, please do like the videos and let us know if you want more such classes, and also share our classes among other teacher recruitment aspirants and your friends. And if you have not joined our Telegram channel, you can join now. We have the Telegram channel also, and we have a Telegram group also. Link you will have in the description box below this video. Our Telegram group is an interactive group where you can ask your doubts and you can have direct contact with us. In fact, aspirants keep discussing mathematical problems and many other doubts in the group, and that group is dedicatedly made for teacher recruitment aspirants of Karnataka. Aspirants like who are preparing for Karnataka TET, CTET, PSTR, GPSTR, HSTR, CRIS, EMRS, KVS, NVS. You will have all type of aspirants in the group who are preparing from maths and science perspective, especially for the Karnataka teacher recruitment exams. Okay. Now this class we are dedicatedly making for TET aspirants only, because there are some aspirants who could not qualify Karnataka TET this time, and this CTET is a golden opportunity for such aspirants, because as we all know there are many posts coming up for PSTR, GPSTR and HSTR only in Kalyana Karnataka part. That also PSTR though are many posts. Of course, not only PSTR but GPSTR also needs a TET qualification for eligibility to write the examination. So aspirants, if you have applied for CTET this time, make sure that you go and write the exam, because this is the golden opportunity for you. There are some aspirants who just pay the fee and they don't want to write the exam. They skip the exam. On the exam date they lose confidence and they don't go to write exam. For such aspirants especially, I want to tell you that please don't do that this time, because Education Minister has promised that the recruitments will come up very soon and they will recruit teacher aspirants before the academic session, they are telling. So that's why please take this on the serious note and please keep preparing, not only for TET but also you are indirectly preparing for all teacher recruitment exams. Okay, now on this note, let us start the class without wasting time. In the previous class we stopped till 45, right? So now let's start with the question number 46, and this is a 2024 June CTET previous year question paper. The question is, two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal and the two interior angles so formed on the same side of the transversal are 2x plus 15 degree and 3x minus 20 degree. Then the value of 4x plus 6 degree is. Now as per the question, there are two parallel lines and these two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal. And the two interior angles, they are telling that there are two interior angles which are formed on same side of a transversal. Means same side means like this, right? So this is x, angle x and angle y. Now this is equal to 2x plus 15 degree and this is equal to 3x minus 20 degree. Okay, so this is the question, and they are asking us to find out the value of 4x plus 6 degree. For that, what we have to do? First we have to find out x, right? Now if you understand the question clearly, they have mentioned that the two angles are co-interior angles. Means those angles which are given in the question are lying on the same side of a transversal. So these co-interior angles are always supplementary. Okay, this thing is a important point which you should remember. Unless and until you know this point, you cannot proceed with the answer. Okay, now what are those two co-interior angles here? One is 2x plus 15, another one is 3x minus 20. So they are supplementary, means if you add them, you should get 180 degree, right? So here you have a simplification if you do like this, and here you will have 5x is equal to 185 or x is equal to 185 by 5. So this thing will be equal to 5 3s are 15, 5 7s are 35. So x I got 37 degree. Now as per the question, I have to find out the value of 4x plus 6 degree. So 4 into 37 plus 6 or 148 plus 6, or this is going to be equal to 154 degree. So option 3 will be the correct answer here. Next question. In a pie chart, the marks obtained by a student in mathematics, science, social science, Hindi and English are respectively represented by sectors of central angles 90 degree, 80 degree, 65 degree, 75 degree and 50 degree. If the total marks obtained by the students were 540, then what is the difference of the marks obtained by him or her in mathematics and English? They are talking about a pie chart, means something should come in your mind, right? This type of a figure, and here they are telling that in a pie chart they have plotted the marks of the students, and maths marks are 90 degree, then English is 50 degree, and other angles also they have given, but I am concerned about maths and English because in the question they are told that we should find out the difference of the marks obtained in mathematics and English. Okay, so they are talking about the marks of a student here, and they have plotted those marks in terms of degrees in a pie chart. Now what is the sum of the angles at the center in a pie chart? This sum of the angles is going to be equal to 360 degree, right? So this is the basic thing you should be knowing here, right? Now first what you have to do is you should add up all the angles given here, right? 90, 80, 65, 70 and 50. So this is the normal procedure we do, right? So if you add up, you are getting 540. This is given in the question also, right? Now how do you find the marks here? Marks will be equal to central angle, means here central angle means that one subject marks they have given, right? So that angle for one subject by 360 degree into total marks, right? So this is our normal procedure when we calculate things in a pie chart, right? So here central angle means talking about mathematics. Maths marks, if you see, it is 90 by 360 into 540, right? So this will give us a 135 if I do simplification. Like that only we can do for English also, right? For English it is 50 by 360 into 540, right? So if I do simplifications here, 6 6 6 90s 3 2s 3 30s 2 1s 2 15s 15 5s, it should be 75, right? So this is for English. Now I have to find out the difference between maths and English. What is the difference? 135 minus 75. So this will give me 60 degrees. So answer is option 360. Okay. So this is one way of finding the answer. This is the normal procedure we use to calculate things when we talk about a pie chart. But here, because they are giving directly two subjects, which is maths and English. I have a shortcut for you to find out the answer here. Instead of doing all this entire of the procedure, what we can do is first find the angle difference between maths and English. I am telling 90 minus 50. This is going to be 40 degree, right? Now convert this 40 degree into marks. Here what we have done, we have taken angles and converted into marks, right? Now in our short trick, first I am taking difference angle only directly. Now this I will convert it into marks. How do I convert it? Same procedure as we did earlier, right? Into 540, right? So here this will get cancelled. 6 6 are, 6 90s are, 3 2s are, 3 30s are, 2 1s are, 2 2s are, 60 marks. So this thing is easier than the first method, right? So this is a shortcut method. So all these type of things you will understand only if you do lot of practice. Okay. See, one pie chart question is normally asked in competitive exams like TET and PSTR. You can also expect in GPSTR also. Okay. Next, another question. This is a methodology question. Which of the following does not imply the meaning of assessment? So here you should find out from the given 4 options which one is not implying the meaning of assessment. See, first one, it helps to diagnose individual differences. Yes, that is what is assessment, right? So this is a correct statement. Then it is a procedure to gather information of students' performance. True, this is also part of assessment. It is evaluation. True, assessment is evaluation only, right? It helps to label the students. No, assessment is actually improving the learning of a student. Okay, it will never label the learners. So option 4 is not implying the meaning of assessment. Other 3 options are actually the meanings of assessment. Okay. Next, question number 49. Arrange the following statements according to ascending levels of geometrical thinking as per Van Halle's theory of geometrical learning. So if you know about Van Halle's theory of geometrical learning, then only you will be able to answer this question, because this is little bit of tricky question. Van Halle's levels are actually including 4 levels starting from level 0 to level 3. Level 0 is talking about visualization. Here the shapes are recognized by appearances by the learner. Then it is analysis. Then comes informal deduction. Then finally comes deduction. Right. So these are the 4 levels. So if you see carefully here, option 4 will be the correct answer, because see, first one visualization, right? So first one is visualization, means geometrical shapes. Right. This is first one. That is level 0. Okay, let me write 0 here. 0. Then analysis. Identify the properties of shapes. This one. This is level 1. Then classify shapes and see relationships. So identification of properties of geometrical shapes. This is level 2. Then comes level 3. Right. So D, B, A, C are the correct levels of Van Halle's theory of geometrical learning. Here option 4 will be the correct answer. Next question. PQRS is a parallelogram whose diagonals PR and QS intersect at a point O such that OP is x plus 7 cm, OQ is x plus y cm, OR is 20 cm and OS is 16 cm. The value of 7y plus 5 in centimeter is. So when they are talking about a parallelogram, this parallelogram should come in your mind, right? So they are talking about a parallelogram PQRS. Like this, right? PQRS. So it will have diagonals also, right? So for a parallelogram, diagonals are bisecting each other. So this point if you know, then you can easily proceed with the problem here. So OP will be equal to OR, this one, and OS will be equal to OQ, right? So the diagonals are bisecting each other. So now they have clearly given the values, right? OP is x plus 7 and OR is 20 centimeter. OQ is x plus y and OS is 16 centimeter. Now I can easily make it as a linear equation and then I can go for simplification, right? Like this I can simplify, right? So here I will have 7 minus y and in the right hand side I will have 4. So I will have minus y is equal to 4 minus 7 or y is equal to 3. So once I get value of y, I can also calculate value of x, right? But why do I need to calculate value of x? They are not asking me value of x here. They are asking 7y plus 5. So without wasting time, I will directly go to calculate 7y plus 5. I don't need to find out x value here because it is of no use to me. So I don't want to waste time. You should keep all this in mind. Every time mentally after y I have to find x, don't sit and waste time there. Okay. So 7 3 is a 21 plus 5. I will get 26 centimeter. So option 1 will be the correct answer here. Okay, clear, right? So in English, if you see, this is the correct answer. Why I am writing Hindi questions also along with English questions means I want you to get the feel of CTET here. Okay, I could have taken only the screenshots of English only, but I want you all to imagine your question paper with the Hindi also, because this is how a CTET question paper looks. Okay. Next, question number 51. If x is the least number which must be added to 955 to make it a perfect square, then value of 3x plus 2 is equal to. So this is a very important question. We have seen this type of questions in GPSTR also. We have seen this type of questions in PSTR also, and we can expect in HSTR also. And of course in TET though they are asking compulsorily one question this type, it is there only. Okay. So if x is the least number, I don't know what is x, right? So that x, if it is the least number which is to be added to 955, we are getting a perfect square. Right? Now I have to find the value of 3x plus 2 with this information. Right? Now if 955 is a number given in the question, what is the nearest perfect square? One nearest perfect square will be 900 if I talk about less than, and one nearest perfect square will be 961 if I talk about greater than, right? See, 900 is 30 square, 961 is 31 square. So 955 is lying somewhere between 900 and 961. Now in order to find my x value, they are talking about a least number. Right? So in order to find this x value, what I have to do? I should subtract 961 and 955 because we are talking about the least number. Right? Here you have much difference. Here you have very less difference. Right? So my x is going to be 6. Once I get value of x, I can easily find out 3x plus 2 value. Right? So 18 plus 2 will be 20. So our correct answer will be option 3. Right. So you should be knowing that in order to find the nearest perfect square, you should know squares and square roots nicely, or else you will be sitting and you will just be going and simplifying in order to find this nearest perfect squares. Okay. So I advise you to go at least till 30 square, at least you should by heart. That will save lot of time in your exam. Okay. Next, question number 52. D is a point on side AB of a triangle ABC such that CD is the bisector of angle ACB. So there is a triangle that is ABC. There is a point D on the side of AB such that CD is the bisector of angle ACB. Means it is equally dividing that angle ACB. Angle A they are giving is 50 degree, angle B they are giving is 70 degree. You should find out angle ADC. This is the question here. Okay. Now this is very simple. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C. Sum of the angles of a triangle is going to be 180 degree, right? Angle A they have given, angle B they have given. With this I can easily find out angle C, right? So my angle C is going to be equal to 180 minus 120. So angle C will be equal to 60 degree, right? Now angle C is 60 degree and they are telling that this CD is dividing angle ACB equally, right? It means that angle ACD is equal to DCB, right? Correct, right? Because angle C is divided equally with the bisector CD here. Okay. Now in order to find angle ADC, I will take triangle ADC. Okay. Now sum of the angles of a triangle is again equal to 180 degree, right? So here ADC plus ACD is equal to 180 degree, right? I should find out angle ADC. So this is equal to 180 minus angle A is 50, right? And angle ACD, it is 30, just now we have calculated, right? So angle ADC is equal to 180 minus 80. So this is going to be 100 degree. So option 2 will be the correct answer here. So basically what we have done here means we have used the concept of sum of the angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degree 2 times. Once we have used for triangle ABC, second time we have used for triangle ADC. Okay, then we got the correct answer here. Next question. At upper primary stage, as per NCERT, which of the following topics have not been included under number system? So in upper primary stage, exponents and powers, square roots and cube roots, fractions, all this is included. Only complex numbers has not been included. So option 3 will be the correct answer. So complex numbers means we talk about imaginary numbers, right? Imaginary numbers, square root of -1 we say, or we write complex numbers like this, right? A plus IB, where I is a complex number and A and B are real numbers. So all this concept actually comes in CBSE and NCERT in class 11 as of my knowledge. Okay. So we also learnt concept of complex numbers from class 11 only. But in ICSE and all that, it comes in high school only, I believe. Next question. Perimeter of a quadrilateral ABCD is 120 centimeter. If BC is 48 centimeter, CD is 17 centimeter, AD is 40 centimeter, and angle A is equal to angle B is equal to 90 degree, then area of a quadrilateral ABCD in centimeter square is. So while reading the question only, something should click in your mind. They are giving two angles as 90 degree in a quadrilateral. So if two angles are 90 degree means there is a diagram or a quadrilateral type which we call as a right trapezoid or a trapezium, where you have one pair of parallel sides also and you have two angles 90 degree. Now if you find out that this quadrilateral is a trapezium, things will become very easy for you, because there is a direct formula to find out the area of a such a quadrilateral, which is a right trapezium. Okay. Now in the question they have told that perimeter is equal to 120 centimeter. Right. Now with this I can find out all the sides, right? So which are the sides they have not given? AB they have not given. Rest they have given, right? BC is 48, CD is 17, AD is 40. Now this is 120. So my AB is going to be equal to 120 minus, this is going to be 105. So this one will be 15 centimeter. Now I have all the sides, right? Also they have told that angle A and angle B is equal to 90 degree. With this I can use this area of a right trapezium formula, right? So that is the question. I have to find out the area of the quadrilateral. So area is equal to half into A plus B into height. What is A? A is BC and B is AD, right? Half into BC plus AD into height. Height is our AB, right? So this is equal to half into BC is 48, AD is 40 and height we have found out, which is 15 centimeter. So this is going to be equal to half into 88 into 15, right? So 2 ones are 244s are. So this is going to be equal to 660 centimeters square. So option 3 will be the correct answer here. So unless or until you identify that this is a trapezium, the right trapezoid, you will not be able to find out the formula. For this type of tricky questions, you need to learn all the types of formulas in quadrilaterals and also practice in order to understand the trick behind the question. Okay. Next question. Which of the following statement is least appropriate regarding the proofs in mathematics? Again, it's a methodology question. See, you have to find out the least appropriate, means which is not very much correct answer. Least means it is the you can say nearly wrong answer, you can say. Okay, so it can help the students to validate their own reasoning. Yes, it can, the proof can help, right? Next, proofs are built on intuitive knowledge and not reasoning. So this is a wrong one. This is the least appropriate one, because mathematical proofs are fundamentally, they are based on logical reasoning only. They are also based on axioms, definitions, and in fact they also use previously proven results also. So that's why option 2 will be the least appropriate one, talking about the proofs in mathematics. Okay, rest two options also, if you read, they are they are the appropriate statements regarding the proofs in mathematics. Okay. Next question, again methodology question only. Which of the following is not an indicator of creativity in mathematics? So students use multiple and alternate problem solving strategies. Yes, it is an indicator of creativity in mathematics. Students can pose questions. Yes, it is also creativity only. Students use convergent thinking in different contexts. No. So this is not an indicator of creative mathematics, because in mathematics we need to have divergent thinking. See, convergent thinking is focusing on getting correct answer. It will get you correct or accurate answer, but it will not help you in creativity in mathematical thinking, right? So if you want creativity in mathematical thinking, then the learner should be able to use divergent thinking with a divergent and different type of approaches. So here option 3 is not an indicator of creativity in mathematics. So this type, if you try to convert the given question into your simpler statements, then you will be able to give the correct answer to those type of questions, rather than getting scared by seeing what is written. You need to convert it into your own understanding level and find the answer. Okay. Next, it is a maths question. Arun is 3 years older than Varun. Okay. So in the question they are telling that Arun is 3 years older than Varun. 8 years ago, 5/6 of Arun's age exceeded 3/5 of Varun's age by 6 years. If the present age of Varun is x years, then the value of x can be determined by solving the equation. So this is a tricky question, but very, very interesting question. This age problems and these type of story problems usually come in the exam. You should be able to crack down the given question in the form of a expression. See, let present age of Varun be x years. Okay, and if Varun is of x years, what will be Arun's age? It will be x plus 3, right? That is given in the first statement. Then what is given in the second statement? 8 years ago. So what is the story? 8 years ago means Varun will be x minus 8 and Arun will be x plus 3 minus 8, right? So this will be their age 8 years ago. What was the situation 8 years ago? 5/6 of Arun's age exceeded means you have to do minus. It was more. Okay, so you have to do minus. Remember, exceeded means you have to do minus. Exceeded 3/5 of Varun's age. How much they were exceeding? By 6 years. 5/6 of Arun's age exceeded 3/5 of Varun's age by 6 years. Okay. Now, what was the situation 8 years ago? Varun was x minus 8. What was Arun? Arun was x minus 5. Right? X plus 3 minus 8 is x minus 5. So, 5 by 6 into Arun is x minus 5 minus 3 by 5 into Varun is x minus 8. So, this was 6. So, this is the algebraic expression as per the question. So, option 3 will be the correct answer here. Okay, you have to stop here only as per the question. But if they tell you to find out Varun's age or Arun's age, you have to again go on simplifying and find the value of x that will give you Varun's age, and then do x plus 3 that will give you Arun's age at present. Okay, clear, right? Next question. Which of the following statement is not correct with respect to rubrics as a tool of assessment? So this rubrics is actually a scoring tool. It is used in formative assessment and summative assessment. This tool is actually used in assessing the more objective and consistent thing related to the learner or the student. Okay, so here you should find out which is not correct. See option 1. Rubrics consists of a clear performance target for students. Yes, you can see it is sort of a mark sheet but not a mark sheet. It is giving you the objective performance. Okay, because it is giving you objective performance, option 2 is not correct. Here it is not giving subjective. So that's why our correct answer will be option 2 only. Because rubrics is giving you objective in a fixed scale manner. It will give the list of characteristics by describing the performance for each point on the scale of the learner. Okay, here you can see some criteria can be there. This can change also. I am just giving you example here how a rubrics tool looks. Okay. Next question. The height and base radius of a right circular cylinder are 9 centimeter and 6 centimeter. Right circular cylinder. Okay. If the base radius becomes half and height increases by 3 centimeter, then which of the following describes the new volume of the cylinder? See, I will tell you two methods here. One method is our normal usual method. See here, volume of right circular cylinder. Okay, right circular cylinder, it will be pi r square h. As per the question, r is 6 centimeter and h is 9 centimeter, right? So what will be the volume then? So pi into 6 square into 9, right? So this one is going to be 324 pi. 6 6 is 36, 36 into 9. Okay. What about the new volume of the cylinder? This also will be equal to pi into r square into h, right? R is going to be equal to 3 centimeter and height is going to be equal to 9 plus 3, 12 centimeter. That is what is given in the question. If the base radius becomes half, means 6 by 2, right? So 3 centimeter. Height increases by 3, means 9 plus 3, 12 centimeter, right? So what will be the new volume here? Pi into 3 square into 12, right? So this is going to give you 108 pi. Now again what you do? This is your V1, this is your V2. To compare, you do V2 by V1. This is equal to 108 by 324 because pi will get cancelled. It will be 1 by 3, or V2 will be equal to 1 by 3 times V1. Right? So our correct answer will be that the new volume will be 1/3 of the original volume. So this is our normal common procedure. I'll give you another shortcut here. See, we know that now volume is directly proportional to r square h, right? Pi I will not take. So I will write proportionality here. So here, what is happening to the radius? Radius is becoming half of the original one, right? In the new thing. So you are getting 1 by 4. What is happening to height? Height is becoming 12 from 9, right? 9 to 12 it went, right? How do you get 9 to 12? You can get 9 to 12 only if you multiply 9 with the 4 by 3, right? 9 into 4 by 3 will give you 12, right? So you have radius becoming 1 by 4 and height becoming 12 only because of 4 by 3 here. So now in order to find how much new volume is there, what I can simply do is I will take radius r square wala 1 by 4 and I will multiply it with the volume which was the 4 by 3, only with the 4 by 3 multiplied by 9 only I got the new volume, right? So this 4 will get cancelled and my answer is 1 by 3. So this is the short trick. If you are getting confused, then you can use the first method only. But if you understand what I am trying to tell, then you can go for the second short method. It is a simple logic that whatever is given in the question, you are directly seeing how it is increased and then how much it is increased you are calculating. Okay, clear, right? Next question. The value of 52 into 3 divided by 4 plus square root of 441 divided by 7 into 3 plus 5 minus 32 divided by 8 into 12 is. So seeing this type of expressions, usually aspirants get scared, but you shouldn't get scared if you know about BODMAS. Here everything is written clearly, but remember that O is orders. What comes under orders means powers and roots come under order. So if you have a root in the expression, first you have to find out the root value. It is square root of 441, means the root answer will be 21. So 21 square is 441. Okay. Now you have 52 into 3 divided by 4 plus 21 divided by 7 into 3 plus 5 minus 32 divided by 8 into 12. Right. Now apply BODMAS like this for this. Again for this. 5 you leave because 5 will not come here, right, in this. So I will write it like this. Again apply for this. Okay. If you apply BODMAS, division and multiplication will come together, right. So here if you do calculation, you will get 39. Here you will get 9. This 5 you have as it is. And here you will get 48. Okay. So this one will be 5. So if you break and calculate things, no, your answer will not go wrong and you will also save time. Okay. So take this as an assignment and let me know whether you are also getting same answer as me. So here the correct answer should be option 4. Okay friends, I really hope that this class helps you, because this was one of the most important classes, because there are variety of questions including methodology also and mathematics also, and we have tried to solve the problems in the easiest possible way. Let us know how you find the class. Write in the comment section if you have any doubt, and also share this video more and more for more such classes, because I am going to make next class only if I get many likes and if you all write your feedback in the comment section. Okay. Thank you. All the best. Bye.